much for joining me on the Well and Worthy Life podcast. I appreciate you showing up today. I know you're a busy, busy person, and I just really appreciate it.
Well, only for you, girl.
So I love being able to see you. Some people will just be hearing us, and some people will be able to watch this on YouTube also. But before I started recording, we were just talking about how you started your Instagram, and you said it was a fluke, right? So tell me more about that.
Well, I feel like I've told this story a zillion times, but I guess there's always somebody new to listen to it. But so it's a little over 5 years old, and I knew what Instagram was. I had a little personal Instagram, but I didn't really know what Instagram was. I just did it. I don't know why, Anyway, so my cousin that I'm super close to, she's like a sister to me. She goes, Shauna, you should start an Instagram account for fashion for women over 50. Well, I've always loved fashion, and a lot of people have asked me before about, how can I, what do I wear to this wedding, or come over and help me clean out my closet, or go shopping with me. And I love that. Like I love that. I love to go into someone's closet and just revamp it and, put outfits together. I mean, because women, there's women out there that don't know how to do it, So anyway, when she said that to me, I thought that is so stupid. Like who would care? There's nobody out there that would care about that, So months and months and months went by, and I was at my desk one day, and literally I'm at my desk, and Chic over 50 just popped in my head, and I thought, well, if I were to do something like this, that is a really cute name. And because I would never want to put my name. I never wanted my name in it, So my son that night was coming over with his girlfriend, who was about 21 at the time. And I thought, I'm going to ask him about it. And if it's stupid, he'll for sure tell me. So he came over, and I told him my idea. And this was 6 months after my cousin had suggested to me. And he goes, Mom, that is a great idea. He said, that is right up your alley, and that would give you something to do. And, it's perfect. And I was like, I couldn't believe that he thought it was a good idea, first of all. So about a week later, I put my first picture up, and I thought, I can always take it down if it doesn't work. And my pictures at first were pictures of my shoes, pictures of half my face. I was really uncomfortable putting myself out there every day. I was not going to do that. It felt self-indulgent. I just couldn't do that. So that's kind of how it started. But then it took off really fast. And as soon as you start developing and getting that following, they don't want to see your shoes. And they don't want to see half your face. They want to see all of you. And they don't want to see you really far away in the picture. They want you right there. And so I just had to gut it up and do it. And it just worked. And that was that.
And I love that. And, because a lot of the women that I work with, even on one-on-one, they're at that age where they're they want to do something. They're starting to become empty nesters. Their kids are a little bit more self-sufficient, and they're like, oh, I want to do something, but they don't even know where to start. But your passion was always into, I can tell that clothing and fashion lights you up, because when you talk about it, it's just like your whole face.
Yeah.
So for some people, it's really hard to dig into that and figure out what that is, because they've lost themselves for so many years.
Yep. Yep. It's been all about their family, all about everybody but themselves. And then when they're finally to a point where they are free to spend a little more time on themselves, then they're a little bit overweight, and then they're not sure, and then they lose their confidence, and then they lose their desire, and then it just becomes a stress. It's like a vicious circle. And it's like, I feel like my platform is like, no, you guys can have so much fun with fashion if you know what colors to wear, if you know what looks good on you.
And it can help your confidence if you dress right.
Everything.
Yes.
Yes,
I
everything.
love your Instagram, and I love that you're very playful. I love your roller skates. We're going to go roller skating together one day.
Yes, we are.
I love your roller skates. Oh my gosh. But so you talked about too that you don't love to talk in public and stuff like that, on a stage, that you don't feel confident right there. So people look at you and they think, "Oh, she's got it all going on. She's got so much confidence." Speak to those people out there that, like, we are still works in progress, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. For my whole entire life, I've never been a confident person, ever. I'm very, very self-conscious, even today.
Mhm.
Like, even just the other day around the dinner table, I was embarrassed because I felt like people were looking at me, and and people will look at me and say, no, you've got so much confidence. And even when I was in junior high and high school, people thought that I was a little stuck up, is how we used to say it. I don't know
Right.
how they refer to that these days, but they would think I was stuck up because I appeared that I had a lot of confidence, but really deep inside I didn't. And maybe it was just like a facade. You
Mhm.
know, maybe, it's just a kind of, I don't know what it is, but I extremely, extremely self-conscious, and would hate to, I've never worked outside of my home.
Mhm.
So I don't have a lot of experience speaking in public, only through like church, through my church. There would be opportunities to speak in public, and it would just horrify me. So now that I'm here, I've kind of, I've had to force myself to gut it up and speak and, you know, represent my brand. And it's just learned it through my blog, actually. And I'm not good at it. I'm not good
Yes,
at
you
public
are. Yes,
speaking.
you are. Excuse me, my dog is barking. Just a second. I'll just hold him. Sorry about that.
Oh,
Think
that's
a
okay.
lot. But saying that, I was a stay-at-home mom for many, many years, and it wasn't until I got divorced, I was wanted to own my own business, and I became a Pure Barre instructor first, and then I owned my own Pure Barre studio, which gave me so much confidence. But before then, it was the same thing like you. I didn't have a whole lot of confidence, and again, I think that that's a lot of women. They hit their in their 40s and their 50s, and they're like they don't feel confident in so many ways.
Hmm.
I mean, so what advice would you give somebody if they were like, they came to you, Shauna, and they were like, I don't know what to do. I want to do something. I don't feel confident. I don't feel like I just met with a friend this morning, and she hardly has done anything on, she just joined a network marketing company. She doesn't know anything about social media, and she's having to start from square one. I just told her, I'm like, it's like a new language, but you'll get it. And it's great to learn something new.
Yeah. Probably if I had a woman come to me like that, that was just desperate and just at her wit's end, I think that number one, you have to feel good inside. And I'm talking more about your diet and what you're putting in your body. Um, because when I'm not eating right, I feel like crap. Everything feels crappy to me. And maybe I'm just ultra sensitive to that. I don't know. But I think that if you're taking care of yourself physically, and of course, we're not going to look perfect. Hardly anybody looks perfect. But if we know that we've eaten right that day, that we've gotten a little bit of exercise, that just in and of itself is going to give us confidence. It's going to motivate us. It's going to help us to get to the next step, like baby steps. And then I would say, you fashion to me is everything,
Mhm.
and I think it's been really challenging for women this past year, 9 months with COVID, because we haven't had anywhere to go. And it's really easy to just stay in our cozy clothes all day
Right.
and not put our makeup on. And I don't know, I don't know. I mean, maybe every once in a while that's good, but I have a little extra motivation because I have a new husband, you
Ooh.
know. I don't want to look like that for him all day, but I just think getting up and getting ready and putting a little bit of effort into yourself can lend so much to how you feel, and then that goes to your confidence, you
Oh, I
know.
totally agree. Totally. Yeah.
Mhm.
So eating right, I'm a big proponent of that too, because I definitely think that food is medicine and what we put in our body is so important.
Mm.
Do you eat a specific way or what do you do?
Well, everything's relative, right?
That's right. Listen, it's all, I always say it's nothing's off limits for me, but I know how I feel when I eat certain foods, right? So,
Exactly. That's kind of how I am. I think one of the best compliments I've ever gotten was from my husband's daughter. And of course, I've only known her for a couple years.
mhm.
And she has said to me a couple different times, I admire you so much because you are not afraid to eat the cookie, to eat the ice cream, because the next morning you're going to be up on your elliptical trainer and you're going to be working out. There's nothing worse than being with a person that can only eat this much and they have to eat at a certain place and have certain food. It's so rigid. I could never, ever live a rigid life that way.
Mhm.
And I guess part of my experience is when I was a young mother, I've got 3 sons and they're
I
fairly.
do too.
You do?
Uh-huh. Yep.
3 sons and no girls?
No girl. I have a granddaughter finally, but no girls. Just
I've got 5 granddaughters now.
oh,
I
how
know. Yeah, yeah, but I had 3 sons. They're all really close in age, and I used to teach aerobics. And, um, and I was super, super I mean, this was when I had my 3rd son when I was 25. So I was only like 26, 27 years old.
Mhm.
And I got really into the diet part of it. I mean, I've always watched what I've eaten, but like really, really strict with no fat, low carbs, and I got really, really ripped and but I got too thin,
Mm,
and I started having health issues and stress fractures,
mhm,
and um, I mean, you could see the bones down my spine, and it just that wasn't healthy
mm,
at all. And I remember going to the doctor in Colorado. We lived in Colorado at the time, and he said, "Look, I know you think you're being healthy. You are being so unhealthy right now. You are setting yourself up for all kinds of damage when you're older."
mm.
I quit having a period.
Yep.
And that's so not good for you. So I've had to, in the course of my own experience, come to a place where I know what I can eat. I
Mhm.
know what makes me feel good. I know what makes me feel bad. And I'm going to have my chocolate. I have it every day, but
Uh-huh.
I also have lots of fruits and vegetables. I I I I know where to cut back so I can still have what I want. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not really rigid as far as I don't have a very big palate as far as I don't like to eat a lot of different and experience a lot of different foods. I order the same thing at the same restaurants.
Mhm,
Um, but only because I know that's what works for me,
mhm.
and, it makes me feel good, and I don't food to me isn't that big of a deal. It's not I'm not a foodie. I don't,
Mhm.
travel to experience all the food. I just could really care less about the food.
Right.
So I found what works for me, but I'm also not infringing on everybody around me what they want to do. If they want to go to a restaurant, I can always find something in that restaurant that will work for me, that
Mhm.
I'll be happy with.
Right, right. That's so awesome. So, do you cook much? No,
No,
no. Mm-mm.
no, I don't cook at all. I hate to cook. My husband does all the cooking.
Oh, you lucky girl.
And I just, in fact, he's gone, I said this week, and he's made me a couple things in there in the fridge. And, I don't like to cook. I'm bad at it and I'm not good. Everybody teases me about my cooking.
Mhm.
So if I'm home and if I'm on my own, and for that little bit when I was divorced before I got married,
Mhm.
I ate like seriously 10 things. I ate eggs. I I ate cereal. I ate salad. I ate apples and peanut butter. I, I mean, I probably couldn't even name 10 things that I
You
ate
were
because
eating good things. Yeah.
well, I was eating good things, but I don't like to cook meat. So
Mhm.
all my protein was nuts, eggs, or if I'd go out with a friend, that would be like my main meal. So you can get around it without cooking,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think.
I'm not a big cook either. I'm learning with COVID. I'm telling you, it's like because my husband does not cook. So I have to cook some, but I try to keep it easy and quick because I don't like to spend a ton of time in the kitchen myself.
Mhm.
I have yet to, I'm on my third marriage, Shauna, and I've yet to marry one that cooks.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that about you.
Yes, unfortunately, my first husband I was married to for 17 years. It took 2 years to get divorced from him. He didn't think women should be able to divorce. And then my second husband was a rebound, and it was really something I always tell everybody like, take some time for yourself. And I didn't take that time. Met somebody, got married very quickly after my divorce, and then so that only lasted a couple of years. And my husband now, I've known him for a long, long time, and thank goodness, because and we've been married almost 7 years, so we've been together about 10 years now. So
Oh,
I'm gonna stay with this one. I tell him all the time he's the best one so far.
oh, well, I mean, after I got divorced, I got remarried really quickly too.
Did
I
you?
well, I didn't get married. I kind of knew. I mean, it is such a long story. That's a whole other podcast, how this blog led me to my husband. I mean, that's really how I know my husband. Is his daughter saw me on TV and said, "I've got this my dad that lives down in St. George. I'd love for you to meet him." And I actually wasn't divorced when she reached out to me.
Mm.
She just thought I was divorced. And so anyway, I knew him, and then we dated from like November and then got married in September.
Oh
And
wow.
so a lot of people have said, you need to be sure, you need to be careful. But oh my gosh, he's an amazing man. We're just so happy together and feel like we were meant, or kind of, he waited for a long time after his divorce before he got married. And then just the way I met him, we just feel like that was God kind of bringing us together. And, so it's
Perfect.
really
I mean,
cool.
I definitely think I knew within the first 6 weeks of marrying my second one that this was not good. But I was very ashamed. I was just talking to a friend this morning. We were talking about divorce. She's going through a divorce herself, and how much shame there is in divorce, right? And it's like, ugh,
I know. I know. None of us wants to admit that we made a bad decision. I mean, I was married to my first husband for 39 years.
no, 39. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. 39 years, and was so scared to get out of that marriage. I just was scared. So really my blog is what took me out of it. It gave me a way to work. It gave me a way to earn money.
Mhm.
It gave me this platform of supportive women to kind of lift me out of my rut, and
Mhm.
it's been amazing.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's so wow. I mean, because it is scary to think about divorcing when you're in a marriage that's just not working out. And I don't recommend divorce to anybody, but there are sometimes that you just cannot stay in a marriage.
Mhm. Yeah.
Wow, wow. Okay, let's get back to the eating and exercise. So tell me, so what kind of exercise do you do?
I work out every day of the week except for Sunday.
Mhm.
I do 60 minutes of cardio, and then 3 days a week, I'll do about 30 minutes of weight training after my cardio.
Wow.
Or I'll do like this morning, it's Wednesday. I do Monday, Wednesday, Friday weights. So this morning I did like a circuit training type thing,
Mhm.
where I'm jumping on and off a cardio machine with weights and lunges and burpees and everything mixed in.
So do
Um,
you do it there? Are you training yourself, or do you have a trainer, or what?
no, I don't have a trainer. I don't need a trainer. I know
No.
how to work my body. I used to teach aerobics, and
Yeah.
you have to get certified. You have to know anatomy. You have to know how to work the muscles. So I have all that background. I would never pay for a trainer,
Yeah.
and I know enough about diet and food that I would never hire a nutritionist.
Right.
Um, so, but yeah, I do it at home just because of COVID. I used to before I got divorced, I had a gym
Mhm.
at home, and then I got divorced and had a gym where I lived, just right in the building where I lived. And then when I got married, I got a gym membership because I didn't have a gym anymore at home. So but I hate going to the gym so bad. I hate getting ready to go to the gym. I hate the time it takes to drive to the gym. So when COVID hit, I went and bought an elliptical trainer, and it was the best thing I ever did. And then I've got free weights and bands and
So you
stuff that I work at
yeah,
home.
yeah, that's awesome.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, but we were talking earlier before we got on before I started recording, and you had said things have changed as you have gotten older, right? And I
Mhm.
think that we have to adapt and we have to change. Um,
Oh, have to.
so you are. I'll let you. Do you want to say your age?
Yeah, I'm 60,
Yeah, and
almost
you're
61.
amazing. You look amazing, but it doesn't come easy. It's not like you still have to be careful, and it you have had to adapt, right, and change things up from when you
Yeah.
were even 50, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you don't adapt and change, you're gonna get in trouble. That's where you get stuck in a rut. Even exercising, I have to be careful because I just have an elliptical
Mhm.
right now, and, it's probably good for me to not do the elliptical trainer every year. In fact, part of my New Year's resolutions are to, go to yoga and
Oh, yeah.
with a couple of my workouts a week and do yoga instead. Yeah, you have to change, and I've noticed with myself that my metabolism is slower. I get more tired. My body doesn't recover as fast. I had a complete ACL replacement a few years ago, and if I like a few weeks ago over Thanksgiving, I was playing pickleball with my grandkids,
Oh,
and I'm
pickleball.
so damn competitive that I went for a ball that I shouldn't have gone for and just twerked my knee a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And it was really, really sore. It scared me because I thought, oh my gosh, if I've wrecked this surgery, and now it's fine. I just twisted it or something, but your body just doesn't bounce back. in a couple days like it used to. It just doesn't. I mean, I'm kind of at the age now where I know why old people move so slow. It's because they hurt.
Right.
Everything hurts, and that's kind of how I feel like, I feel like if I if I'm not taking care of, I mean, I already hurt a little bit when I wake up in the morning.
Mhm.
I've got really bad feet. I've got implants in my feet, and I don't have a super healthy back. And
Mhm.
I just think to myself all the time, think of how much worse it would be if I were overweight, if I
Oh,
wasn't eating right, if I wasn't exercising, it would be like 1,000 times worse. So, yeah, for me, exercise it's hard for me every single day to go up there and get my workout done, but the way it makes me feel is motivation to
mhm.
get up there and get it done. It's so worth it. It's such a good payoff.
Yeah. So do you do it first thing in the morning or when do you do your workout?
I do, yeah, I get up in the morning and work for an hour or 2, and then I go work out, and
Yeah.
then by the time I'm done, it's like 11:30 and,
Mhm.
or so, but I've already worked too
Right.
in the
Right.
so yeah, yeah.
Do you think your injuries, like your back and everything that are from your earlier days of going so hard and doing all your
It could have been. I have, just my vertebrae and my back have fused together. I've lost the discs and it's just kind of fused together naturally. So it's just, I have a little bit of chronic pain in it, but it's like you just get used to it. I'm pretty tough. And my feet definitely could be cause of, the pounding of aerobics. I used to teach pretty heavily and maybe not rest enough in between classes. So that could be, but I just lost the joints in both of my big toes. And so there's just a titanium implant in there because they were bone spurring, they were rubbing and causing bone spurs, which just is, you can never get rid of them. So
mm,
so so yeah, it could be, you never know. I mean, that's why it's so important to be balanced, and sometimes I don't feel very balanced
mhm.
in my workouts because I don't have enough variety, and that's why, my goal is to get some yoga in there,
I
somehow.
agree. I love yoga. It's hard sometimes to get a yoga in because it's slower than you and I are normally used to, right? And
No.
a lot of times you go to these classes, they're an hour long, hour and a half long. So, but I do have a friend that's getting ready to do some online yoga, and it's her name's Juanina. I did a podcast with her, and she's getting ready to release her website. It's Flex and Flow, and it's going to be like these 15-minute, 30-minute flows, which will be really good for a lot of people that just want quick, easy, beginner type yoga flows. Because I do think it is important for us to be well rounded and to have yoga and that breath and that meditation. Do you spend any time meditating or I know your spiritual life is very strong.
Mhm. I don't really have a meditation time. I feel like my spiritual time in the scriptures and things like that is my meditation time and prayer. So I don't have a designated meditation time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that can be even while you're doing yoga. Even, I've heard a lot of people talk about even walk out when they're out on a walk. It is a type of meditation. I was
Yeah.
saying the other day on Instagram, I said something about my meditation practice, and somebody said prayer daily, and I'm like, oh yeah, I pray daily. I pray all the time. I walk around my house praying and talking to
Yeah.
God.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think that, I just wasn't raised that way.
mhm,
And but I don't doubt it.
mhm,
I mean, I think maybe when I work out, I do a lot of thinking when I'm working out, you
mhm,
know, listening to music and I'm a goal setter, so I think about my goals and I'm very self-motivated. I always want to do whatever it is better. How can I do that better? How can I be better? How can I be a better mother? How can I be a better wife? How can I be a better friend? So I'm always self-reflecting. So yeah, just my way, I guess.
Yeah, now I love that. I think that that is awesome. I think that's awesome. Well, I'm not going to take any more of your time. I appreciate you taking the time today and talking to me and sharing with me all that you do because I love following you on Instagram. One day we are going to meet in person. We're going to go roller skating and play pickleball because I like to play pickleball too.
Awesome.
Anyway, but
Oh,
thank
it's
you.
been fun talking to you. Thank you for having me.
You are so sweet. Okay, tell everybody exactly where they can find you
So
on it.
my blog is called Chic Over 50. It's CHICOVER 50. And that's my website, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest. A lot of people have found me on Pinterest. I have Chic Over 50 Pinterest. So yeah, Chic Over 50 YouTube with like 2 videos.
I know. I'm just trying. I'm working on my YouTube right now.
I know that's like, that again is like a whole other realm, right?
Yes, it is.
There's always something to learn in this business, always more to do, more to learn. And yeah, my YouTube could use some help.
But you know what? I think that learning and learning the new things is what keeps us young. You know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, in fact, earlier when you asked me that question, what would you tell a woman if they came to you and said, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do, da da da. I've always had 3 or 4 or 5 things that I'm passionate about. I love tennis. I love golf. I've loved journal keeping, scrapbooking. Um, I've had so many interests. So I would tell women you've got to have outside interests. You do, whether it be an art class or a dance class or yoga or whatever, or a writing class or whatever. You have to have those interests to
Mhm.
kind of take you out of your daily routine. So vital.
Yeah. And be more than just a mom and a wife. Right.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Mhm.
Um, well, again, thank you so much, Shauna. I really appreciate it.